Hello, today is July 22nd, 2022. This episode is titled A Strong Turnaround Week Following Seasonality. What's next? And this is your weekend report. Hi, this is Jonathan Gurney, Portfolio Manager for Gurney Financial LLC. This post is for informational use only. The views expressed are those of the author Jonathan M. Gurney, that is me. This material is not intended to be relied upon as a forecast, research, or investment advice and is not a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any securities or to adopt any investment strategy. In short, we're giving clients a real picture of how we traded each week and the game plan ahead. Okay, so here's the performance for the week. I'm going to hit it right on the head. This was not a good week for us. And I'll show you why that was. It was very, very frustrating. One day spanked us, and that's the difference, to be honest with you. So here's the deal. The S&P 500 was up 2.47%. We had strength throughout. Like if I'm going to quickly recap the ETFs for the week, or the sectors for the week, it was a pretty strong week. And it's not bad to see the more conservative areas kind of struggle. So growth, those areas did pretty good, which is what you want to see. The core intraday names, that's not true. 1 second, 1 week. Solid week. Today was ugly, and we were positioned for the ugliness. So I'm going to show you our performance to give you a realistic perspective. Up front, it was not a good week for us. The last 2 weeks have been a struggle. You're like, Jonathan, but you said, the trend is up, don't fight it. You're absolutely right. And I wanted to play one quick dip, and it occurred. However, I thought it would go much more, and the next day just pounced higher. So here's the story right here. Number one, we're still beating the S&P 500, which is good. But a day like Tuesday where the market gaps up like 1.5 to 1.75% and we were short. So you look at Monday and you're like, wow, he positioned really well. I was not short before this. I was expecting to see a dip and traded accordingly. Worked out fantastic. I kept the short on. Overnight, we gapped up and went. Very, very strong day. I actually got out. I was pressing very hard short. I got out early and it was still this bad. So understand that I actually traded this pretty decently, but it was just so bad, a complete reversal overnight. And I will show this to you. But overall, because we started going in the up direction, I started positioning for a dip, and basically these 2 days negate these two. So overall, not a good week. We lost the S&P 500 5%. That's tough. Not fun. Not something that I was happy about. This day was very, very difficult. But again, you can make money on the up and down. And so I wasn't mad that I was upset, but I wasn't going to make rash or bad decisions based on what I was seeing. I knew we would get a test eventually, and today we had that on Friday. So it could have been much worse. Fortunately, I was trading in and out. This is not just holding a position. I traded 3 times this day. We traded quite a bit this entire week to try to protect value. So overall, was not a fun week. That's the reality. Here's the chart. So the S&P 500 did catch up with us a little bit. We were beating handily here, obviously. That's really what we wanted to maintain. But here's what I was seeing, and here's what it all comes down to. This is what we have been following almost to a T. You're like, Jonathan, you said the trend is up, don't fight it. This was what I was playing. I wanted to protect on the downside. That happened Monday, and I thought we would go lower. We did not. We gapped up and kept going higher. I thought that this was, in short, going to be more like Thursday of this week. And we didn't see it. So personally, I think we need a little bit more of a test lower. I'm going to show you those values and we'll get to it quickly. But that's the reality. this was not a fun week. I'm not happy about it. Tuesday was a gut-wrenching, got to get over it quickly because the market is moving like crazy. I am not happy by any means when I have a day like this. When I have a day like this, it is heartbreaking because I believed I was positioned incredibly well for a little more of a dip. Even if it had been a gap up of 0.75, I would have been completely fine. But we gapped up 1.5%, which is extremely rare, and I got smoked. And it took me a little time to get out. So, as in anything, you learn from your mistakes, and this is the new rule. If the market gaps up more than 1%, do not assume that it won't get chased. Meaning, if something goes up 1% overnight, don't assume it can't go higher. Because a lot of times, if it's up 1%, people will chase it, thinking the rally will continue. So in short, don't blindly short the position in that situation. I had a short on, and I tried to do one more short. Fortunately, got out quickly, but the damage was done. Same goes for the down, more than 1%. Don't assume that immediately to go long is the right decision. So new rules, I constantly add to my system. This is really nothing new, but as of this year, this has been a pretty decent gauge. If we gap up over 1%, don't assume that it won't keep ripping. And that day went up 2.75%. I was short. There's the pain. Okay. So now let's keep going with this. Let's go back to the charts and we will talk through key levels and so on. 3-minute drill starts now. Okay, here's what I really want to show you. The main takeaway that we have this week is we need to hold, you can see in your, in this commentary up here, hold 39.55 and hold 39.14. So if it goes below 39.14, we have problems. I do hope we test 39.14. I'm still positioned short. I think there's still a lot of complacency. I think everybody just assumed we were going to just explode higher. I don't think that's going to happen yet. I think it very well could next week. But I think we need a little more testing, a little complacency. So understand why it was so difficult in my position, because we had 2 gaps below here and we completely ignored it and tested this up gap first. I don't usually like to see that. I usually view that as, hey, risk reward is not good. So fortunately today we were actually at 1 point up 0.3% in the S&P 500. We tested this key level. This to me looks a lot like this. You get just above the 50-day moving average for the first time and it plunges after that. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. We're holding key level of the 39.55 right now. So, and I can show that to you real quick. Yep, 39.60. So we're right at it, okay? So that's the key level. Those are the key levels that need to happen. If we get above 39.80, that's bullish, and I got to get out of my short, but I think I still have some time and an opportunity to test a little bit lower. Do I think eventually we test these? Yes. In future months, August, September, probably. I'm just being real with you. So it was a tough week, very frustrating. But overall, I think we have some opportunities. So the reason why I'm not panicking too much is, of course, you have the Friday rally into close, and this is not what it's basically. People were trying to squeeze it into close, not exactly what you want to see. Now, overall, so in short, I am bullish. I want to make that very clear, but I think we need a test. I think you don't just break the 50-day moving average, this blue line here, which is midterm trend. So we are above the short term, the 5-day moving average. We're above the midterm, the 50-day moving average, the blue. That is good. So there are good things happening under the table, including finally some active managers putting some dollars to work. New lows are reducing. So you can see that right here, NASDAQ, new highs, new lows. New lows are decreasing. That's a good thing. New York Stock Exchange, new lows. So that means the market is improving. Conditions are improving. So overall, do not get too negative here. One more thing that's very, very interesting. Let me save this real quick. So what's very interesting here is save, get out of here. Sorry about that. What's very interesting here is this little channel here. This is the VIX, or the volatility index. Some call it the fear index. I like to call it the volatility because it's not necessarily fear. Today, when the market was down over 1%, there was zero increase in the VIX. That is very weird. Doesn't mean, I think to me that shows a little bit of complacency, and that's why I kept my short on. Okay, so we have a hard time getting out of this channel. We tried to today, fake breakdown, boom. We tested the 5-day. Do I expect this to go a little bit higher and scare? I think we need that. It'll add a few more shorts, and I think there's some opportunity ahead to be long. So in short, in the next couple weeks, I think it's right to be bullish. But right now, I think we need to test a little bit lower because there's just, people assume we get above the 50-day moving average and all is heaven from there. I don't think it works that way, in my opinion. I think this 50-day moving average gets tested and needs to be tested a little more. And also, I think the 3,900, we just blew past it. And I think we need to test that. And that's exactly what I'm kind of targeting right now. It's 39.14. It may never happen, and I will have to adjust quickly. We could gap up, and I will learn from that mistake, the new rule as I showed you. So have a good week. We'll be okay. I know account values are not good right now. We will be okay. I got to keep trading the system. I'm telling you up front, I have a hard time when I get 500 calls saying the world's going to end. I don't think it's going to end. And if it does, your dollars don't matter. Like, I'm not trying to be negative or scare you or anything, but I'm going to keep trading the system because the system works. I know this was a bad week. The last 2 weeks were tough, but it's not easy when the market overnight gives me no opportunity to do anything. Understand that. I have no opportunity to get in to change your account in any way between the hours of 8 p.m. and like 8 a.m. Okay. So a lot of people don't understand that fully. It's not an excuse. It's just, it's difficult sometimes. You have to manage the account based on some things you can't control. That's the reality. So no excuses. I should have done better in some situations this week, but overall we ended strong, and I think we're going to be completely fine next week. So in short, it's right to be bullish, but expect some testing. You don't just go up in a straight line as we've experienced. So have a great week. Thank you guys. Thanks for your trust. We'll be okay. Thanks guys.